Scott, welcome
man.
to the sets, my man. How are we? Good?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Viking to start with today?
Yeah. Scotland's strongest man coming up.
Yeah.
Overhead event, so he's a lot of practice, a lot of work, so getting stuck in there now.
So the goals of the Viking, that's fine. We've got 5 sets of 3, you were telling me.
Yeah, 5 sets of 3 with some restricted rest, trying to focus on basically speed.
Yeah.
Just try to move it really well, and then one big set at the end with the same weight, probably around about 8 reps.
Nice. Now we're a week after Ultimates.
Yep.
We've obviously had that nice wee recovery week, but we're straight back into a prep for Scotland's.
Yep.
How's the body feeling after that?
Body was pretty destroyed after Ultimates this time round. Pretty sore, forearms were pretty gubbed from all the grip work. Stupidly got tattooed on the Tuesday after it, which meant my training got delayed a little bit as well. So I've trained twice last week. Just restoration, getting things moving again, and then today we kind of like get the ball rolling for Scotland really.
See, coming into this is like starting the prep again.
Yeah.
Do you have a thought process on your mind before you come into train? Like, do you think about it much, or do you just leave till you come in?
Not massively. Normally, just when I come in. I think the more important thing for me beforehand is just making sure that I've done the stuff I need to do to be fueled for the session.
Right.
So just try and sleep best I can the night before, although that's really difficult with a wee one, and dogs and cats bouncing about the house. But yeah, normally it's just making sure that I've got fluids in check, my food in. If I don't have that in check, then the session's not going to be worthwhile. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just preparedness to like have fuel for the session. Mindset wise, not much really. I try and chill bean before, and then because I waste a lot of energy during training getting quite hyped, so I probably save it to training.
Obviously, we were just talking a minute ago, saying about how you've came through the ranks all the way up.
Yeah.
So did you start at beginner, novice, and just work yourself through?
I kind of jumped in at the deep end. I did Scotland's under 105s as my first comp. It was one of them. My coach at the time, Dean, I had a word with him, and he was just like, "Why not?" And looking at it, I was like, deadlift is going to be a big ask. Overhead is going to be a monumental ask. And then I had some good events at it that were taken out on the day. But yeah, I had a really good experience. I was 10th out of like 20 lads, and but I felt like I needed to gain some more experience and stuff. So I went back through the novice scene. So yeah, and I needed it because the first novice comp I did, I went from 1st to 5th on the last event. So I definitely needed some comp experience. So yeah, I climbed up through the ranks, through novice right through.
And then you've been at nationals now for quite a while.
Yeah, the last 2 years really, I've stepped up to opens in the 120s. So yeah, like obviously the Ultimate Scotland's was probably the first big step up, which was a big shock result in 2024 with a third place finish, which got me to UK's the following year. And then since then, I've had some comp highs, like Strength Cup was massive, second at Strength Cup in a lineup that was
a huge lineup.
It was incredible. Such a cool lineup to be a part of.
Huge lineup.
And then yeah, just like I've just been trying to chip away, getting better. But as I've been getting better, there's been new folk coming out of sport that are so much better. Everybody's continually getting better. So as much as I've got a hell of a lot stronger the last few years and better, so is everyone else. So it's keeps me pushing, keeps me working, keeps me hungry.
Yeah, I mean the Scottish strongman scene's definitely growing and getting better every year, which is good. Like we see those new ones coming in. I mean, Beefy touched on that, how like you're kind of having to respect the new ones coming in now because they're coming in putting a bit of stamp on things right away.
100%. There's loads of the guys that are coming in are just the freaks. We've also got guys coming in from different sports now as well, which is great to see. But yeah, it pushes us all on, keeps us on our toes, and I think for the growth of the sport, it's great to see more people and more really good people coming in. So yeah, it's great.
I think something we were touched on. I see you walking through the ranks. We were touched on it just before we started. It was how you've changed physically as well. Like you've put on a lot of weight, but it's like muscle mass. You can tell you're a lot more full and solid looking, I'd say, which is, I take it, been a big factor in your recent success in strongman.
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously I'm 6'4", but I'm actually close at 6'5", just slouch a lot, I think. So yeah, I was always kind of like the tall, skinny guy. And obviously, like putting on tissue takes time. And I always had the training dialed in. That was something I could always do. I'm a bit of a maniac when I train most of the time. But I struggled with the nutrition side and the recovery side of things. I didn't focus enough attention on that. And I think one of the biggest things that I did do was take the nutrition like kind of off my own hands. Took on Will Clark, and since going on board with him, him holding me accountable and really pushing my foods has made the world of difference, to be honest with you. I've probably put on, in the last year and a half, I've probably put on a good 10 kilos of muscle tissue, which has been huge in terms of, but you need to work hard at the end of the day, so that's the number one thing. But I had the hard work, but I didn't have everything else.
The surrounds of it.
Yeah.
Anybody who does know you and has watched you compete or watched you train, especially sometimes you put it on social media, but you tend to, if it's a big lift, you tend to go a bit wild.
Yeah.
So what is it that gets you like that? Like, what gets you hyped for that?
To be honest with you, like I need to get to a certain level of arousal to perform well, and I've always kind of known that. Like if I go into a deadlift and I don't think about it too much, I'm not switched on, I don't have my music blaring, all those things, I don't get a bit angry, it's going to come up slow and it's going to feel 30-40% heavier than it should. So yeah, I normally need to get quite hyped. Kind of depending on the lift, I will go down a kind of like dark route into like some deep dark thoughts. But yeah, generally just giving myself a slap and get myself hyped is enough. But if it's a big lift, sometimes I'll go a wee bit deeper than that in terms of managing things in my head and a bit of visualization and some horrible thoughts and everything else. And it wipes you, but it does the trick for what I need it for at the time.
You're definitely more of a fired up person than a calm approach, I must say.
Yeah. I can't lift calm.
So you've kind of touched on one of my other points. You would get yourself going there, or you would if you need to go into a dark place. That's what runs through your head before a heavy set. Like, you start telling yourself certain things to get you into a mindset.
Yeah. I mean, that element of it is probably only utilised, like, I would say, for example, on like a big deadlift.
Yeah.
Here and there on other things as well, but mainly the kind of darker thoughts would probably be for something that's a simple skill, where I can just go in really hyped, and even if it was slightly off, it's probably still going to go.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't use that approach for something more technical, like a log or a dumbbell or something.
Do you ever say it's like pre-training of set, top set, or pre-comp? Do you sit and visualise what you're going to do, or do you just let yourself get into the mindset and go in and just send it?
Yeah, I think a little bit of visualization is useful in certain events for me. I think more so like walking through, if it's like medleys, I'll literally walk through the whole thing in my head. Even physically potentially do it, just walk through it with like no weight. But more simple skill stuff, there'll be next to no visualization with it. It'll just be
going into it.
Yeah, level of arousal up and go and send it. You don't need to visualize. For me, I don't need to visualize the deadlift. Do you know what I mean? But if we've got like say it's an overhead medley and there's a log, an axle, and a dumbbell, I maybe want to have a wee think about like how I'm doing each one. And there's a wee bit more thought and visualization with the likes of that. But something like a deadlift or squat or something, it's just get hyped and go.
No, I get you. That's fair. What's your gym red flag? Especially being a gym owner, you must have a few.
Honest, it boils my piss. Just folk generally leaving things that can't be moved by other gym users that affects them using their equipment. It's always been something, even when I worked in like the health clubs and like commercial gyms, it used to wind me up when someone would leave 400 kilo on a leg press, and then wee Betty that's 70 who can't lift the 25 kilo plates off it can't use it. So yeah, that for me is that's poor behaviour. Like.
You've trained with a lot of folk.
Yeah.
So what is a habit of theirs, so training partner habits that you can't stand?
Who am I going to dog in here?
You don't need to say names. We don't need names. We don't need names. It's all right. You can keep that bit. But what's their habit?
Transparency. It's probably anybody that would affect my session, which sounds quite selfish. I don't mind folk like not contributing to like setups and clearing up and all that kind of stuff. It's annoying, but it's one of those things. But see anybody that's massively distracting when you're trying to focus on what you're doing. So again, we'll use a deadlifter for an example, right? Or like, let's say it's events and I've got like a max distance run or something to do with a Hoosa bag or a tombstone or something. And I'm getting myself fired up, get myself into that headspace, like, right, you're going to go till you die. And someone's sitting there moaning about, I don't know, the heat, or like, I'm just like, shut up. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, let's get on with this.
I've got something I need to do.
Yeah. So anybody that's super distracting when you're trying to get yourself in the right headspace, just generally chatting shite, but absolute nonsense when you're trying to get hype, I can't stand it.
Fair. I get that. That makes sense. Who in strongman would you never trust to load your plates?
Well, I've seen the whole Taz story, so definitely not Taz. We've got a couple in here like that are pretty bad at like plate maths, just maths in general. So I'm gonna put her in it because she'll be raging. But Hayley Black that trains in here, honestly, man, yeah. Her like trying to figure out and load plates is something to behold. But let's say Taz as well though, because that was pretty shocking.
Can't let him away with it.
Yeah.
That's we actually when we were doing his one, he misloaded these plates and all. Like at the same time, he was meant to do like 90 and put 100 on, and then he realised till after it. What song is the one song that gets you going?
Oh, that changes all the time. It's normally.
So what's the current one?
Probably Bad Omens, Dethrone. Yeah, probably Dethrone. Right. I've used that the last couple of big lifts.
Right, okay.
So yeah, Dethrone.
That's what gets you going.
I go dark, with like deadlifts and that.
Aye.
Like really horrible. To a point where like, see when I did the 5 reps at Scotland's, we had no deadlift prep because it got changed in that week. So it was a 300 kilo for reps. Yep. I'd only ever done it for 1 the year before. I pulled 5, but before that I was greeting. Because I'd put myself into such a bad fucking headspace for it and such an angry headspace for it.
Mental.
With tears coming at my fucking eyes. And I was like, and then I just fucking, it was like punched myself in the head and went mentally. I got 5 reps, but I did no deadlift prep that whole block apart for trap bar holds because we were meant to have a car hold.
Yep.
But yeah, like, I see guys walking up to deadlifts like, I'm like,
that's what I mean. It's crazy.
Wasted energy thing, Like if you're overthinking things and panicking and you're getting anxiety about a lift or like worry about it and that, you're just draining your own battery, man. Like a lot of folk that I have, like I've got one of my girls I send out for a walk in between events, like because she needs a massive decompress because if she keeps that level up a wee bit higher, the third event she's spent. Aye. So normally like we need to like totally bring her down completely. Not some people can kind of be a little bit. Yep. She has to be like switched off. So like it's complete distraction. She gets like 2-3 minutes to reflect on the event and just be angry about it or be happy about it, celebrate it, and then she'll completely remove herself until she needs to start warming up. Even her warm-ups, I'm like, nothing until you need to lift. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, everybody's so fucking different, man. I'm normally pacing about the place like a fucking idiot. Hey!
Right, so you've just finished, you've done your 5 sets of 3 and then you've done your final set with 8 reps.
Yep.
How'd that feel?
Good. Yeah, good this week, I think. I've learned over the years to try not overshoot in week 1 and 2 training blocks.
Yep.
I think it's super important, even if it's meant to be high on the RPE scale, quite tough. Bloody moves well. So yeah, that moved kind of how I wanted it to today, so it's good.
Is that where you would expect it to be for, especially like you're saying, the start of the prep?
It's hard to tell with this for me because it's not, this is facing in, it's completely new. Yep. So I'll say aye, yeah. But I don't really have much to gauge off of because I'm not used to facing in the way.
Yep.
And I've not done this for a very long time. So
is there anything you would change for the next time doing it?
I'm going to need to keep working on the timing of the dip. to try and make sure that I'm not going out my toes and keeping my heels down, because I'm going to lose a little bit of power that way. And I need to keep working on like getting into that kind of like thoracic position where my upper back's a bit bent, my head's back. I'm getting a little bit guilty looking forward, so I need to keep that back bend, and I definitely need to get the timing a wee bit better in the leg drive. So it's just practice though. I think I've done like 3 or 4 sessions on this. So yeah, that was all right.
That was fine. I thought it looked quite good. Do you ever get nervous before heavy lifts?
In the warm-ups, normally it's a bit earlier on. Like if things are feeling quite heavy early in the warm-ups, like maybe like 2 sets, 3 sets out from a top set, for example, sometimes I can be like, oh no, this isn't moving the way it should. It feels a bit heavier than it should today.
Aye.
But normally I try and like bin that thought completely.
Yeah. Especially if you're saying you used to it happening sets before the top set.
Yeah.
Actually then process it a wee bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not going to help pondering on, it's not moving that great at that weight. And quite often with that, for me, it's just my level of hype. So I've maybe not switched on quite enough. So that lighter weight's maybe feeling a bit heavier than it should. So normally all I'll do is just switch on a lot more for the next one. And 9 times out of 10, it actually works. It actually works. So
what about, so I've asked you then about heavy lift, what about comp days? Do you ever get nervous before, during?
Used to very much, yeah. Like, especially if it was something in training that I'd maybe not like fully done. Obviously there'd be a concern there that have I done enough? Have I worked hard enough? Am I going to be able to do it? So earlier on, I would say there was a bit of worry before going up to certain events. Whereas now, not so much.
No.
I kind of just focus on the job at hand, and if it happens, it happens. It doesn't, it doesn't.
A wee bit more used to it now with your experience on it all.
It's just practice, isn't it? It's like everything else. I think if you struggle with your headspace on like comp days, one of the best things you can do is compete more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think the first 2 years I probably did like a comp every 6 weeks,
just to keep you,
just to like gain loads of experience. And I tried to pick comps as well that were like just normally quite challenging events for me. I never really lined any up that were like good events for me. Do you know what I mean? I tried to pick stuff that would make me work harder in training and the things that was rubbish at. And I felt like that really brought me on. Even stepping up, like I know I kind of went Scotland's and back to novice and up.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of comps earlier on when stepping into inters and then stepping into Scotland Opens, where there was stuff on it where I'm like, I'm zeroing that.
Aye.
But I'm still going to try as hard as I can to get there. Yeah. So yeah.
Given that we've worked all the way up, for you, what's the difference between a good strongman and a great strongman?
I think probably the ability to be able to put everything together. Now, what I mean by that's like all the stuff out with training normally.
Aye.
So see if you're a good trainer, you train with intent, stick to the plan, you've got some decent programming. I think it's the external stuff. So food, like sleep, stress, like the pillars of recovery. I think folk that have that in check religiously and then they can be consistent with that for a long period of time, those are the folks you see excel really quickly through the sport. And then we flip it back to just like genetics. Like, as much as like we're all the way we are, and it's I'm never going to be as strong as Tom Stoltman.
No.
It's as simple as that. He's a monster. He's a big genetic freak. Not that I should be comparing myself to him, but you get the point. It's like genetics play a huge part in it, and I think folk with good genetics, but they have all the pillars of recovery in place, as well as their training, their intensity in training. Hard work pays off. It's as simple as that. So that's probably the main difference. I find a lot of guys that are they're actually quite genetically gifted, and it frustrates me that they don't train hard, and they don't do the pillars of recovery, and they don't look after themselves. I think that's probably one of the most frustrating things I've seen in the sport. There's a lot of guys that are wasted talent, really.
Natural freaks, but don't work on it to make them ridiculous. And
I can't stand it. Although there's nothing better than going into comps and beating these guys. Yeah. I'm like, you should not be getting beat off someone like me. But it's, I think you need to have it basically all together and in line to to be a great strongman. I think you can be good, but to be great, you need to have
Everything in check.
everything and a wee bit of a genetic freak as well.
Factor. Yeah. So, you've done quite a lot of competitions. Then, what's something or the hardest part for you that people wouldn't get to see during a competition? Like, because obviously, so take your qualifier or even just Scott. Well, let's take a qualifier because 9 times out of 10, when you're at Burns, crowd are outside and you're in the back room. Whereas on the comp day, the finals, you're usually like in the back and people can come in to see you and talk to you. But let's take that one for example. What's the hardest part of that people don't see for you?
For me personally, honestly, sometimes it's actually being around people. I like my own bit of space to get in the right frame of mind. And I love the guys, like, got so many great friends through this sport, but I find sometimes I do struggle with, like, being nice and being friendly and everything else, which I always am. But sometimes when I'm trying to get into a lift and get myself in the right headspace, it frustrates me sometimes just having to be in that busy space almost. I find that quite difficult with competition days, especially when it's like the qualifier was like 50 guys doing it.
Exactly.
So yeah.
It's crowded in that room at the back, so it's hard.
Yeah.
Do you take that same mindset in or that same issue when you're doing training events with everybody then?
Like just weekends and things like that with the guys?
You're doing the build up to comps and you all meet up? And
a little bit. I think the nice thing with that is you can be a bit more selective with your training partners.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Like you can't be selective with your competition. I'm blessed to kind of be around guys that typically like to train hard, and we normally bring the kind of most out of each other. Obviously, trained a lot with Beef through Scotland's prep, UK's prep for this year. Big Scott Milne as well, when he's on time. But like training with guys like that have been in the sport a long time, they have a lot of experience. But just having them to kind of push you on.
Yeah.
I like training with guys that are stronger than me. So that I can up my game. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's why I like training with those kind of guys. So it's not the same. Comp day is a bit different because it's sometimes there's people there that you maybe don't want to be around when you try to get in the right headspace. Whereas those guys, they kind of know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? From training with each other, like I'm exactly the same with them. I know when they need a fucking kick up the arse.
And when they want to be left alone.
And when they want to be left alone for a minute. So it's just knowing the people around you.
No, that's fair. Do you find it beneficial to do the training meetups, or do you prefer it when you're doing it alone?
Massively prefer training in with people for like big sessions like that. Yeah. But again, it has to be the right people.
Yeah.
I have trained with people in the past where it's been they've been like half an hour late for training, and I'm like, I've got a busy life, so I need to get training. I've already pulled my top set of deadlifts, and they're walking in the door.
And what warm up now, and you're like,
yeah, I'm like, this ain't happening. But also just the training intensity and stuff as well. Like I'm here to like blow off some steam, enjoy my training, try and better myself. If that person isn't in that same mindset and it's going to bring my session down, I don't want to be around it. No. Again, a bit selfish, but if you have too many of them in a comp prep, how much are you going to lose out on? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I remember going down to Burns when I was doing the qualifier prep, and I went down with like Taz and Big Matt, and you came down, and that's where I'm asking it because it's interesting. Because I think you might have said a grand total like 5 words that full day.
Yeah,
because it was like quiet. You were obviously in your zone, in your mood. We were all cracking on with it, but everybody was like maybe having a wee bit maybe too much chat at times. And I just remember you just standing there staring at every implement, not doing anything apart from just staring at this thing, especially when it was like chain drag.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing it, and you were just staring at the thing the full time. And I was like, this guy's in a different world here. He's not even interested in us. He just wants to crack on. But just like that's what I mean. That's a difference. And I thought it was quite interesting. That's why I was looking forward to doing this.
Yeah.
Mindset's different.
It's on like I think that the gym's different for everybody and training's different for everybody. For me, it's always been like I hate saying this, but it has been a total coping mechanism for a lot of stuff in my life, and it's always got me through darker times. So, like my training intensity is pretty. When I'm trying to get better at something, and when it's time to switch on, I will switch on.
Yeah.
And it's again, I'm not rude to anyone. I'm not, but I'm very much focused on what I'm doing.
Right.
And I actually think for a lot of people, they would get on a lot better if they did a little bit more of that and a little bit less of the chatting in between. It's great. I think the gym should be social. It's fantastic for that. But if you're 2 weeks out from the biggest comp you've ever done, and 90% of your training sessions spent in a jokey headspace and pissing about and not warming up properly, or you miss a warm-up set because you're too busy fucking, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I know everybody's different in terms of how hyped they need to be, how switched on they need to be, but I think there needs to be a level of concentrating on what you're doing.
Yeah.
The amount of guys that I see not warming up for stuff properly, I'm like, and then 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, they pulled out, they're injured.
Aye, exactly.
And a lot of that's actually just, they're just messing about too much in training.
They're not doing it properly.
Yeah.
Why strongman over anything else?
To be honest with you, it was, so I fought international taekwondo and did a wee bit of kickboxing stuff. So I've represented Scotland at that previously. But with life and the business, I couldn't attend classes anymore. I couldn't do it to the level I wanted to do it because of the training time and requirements and the lack of flexibility, basically. So I was really at a point where I needed to find something else, basically. And I just kind of fell into strongman because it was fun. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I need to find something that I enjoy doing. And I was going to do either powerlifting or strongman. Trained a little bit for both, and straight, like, within like no time, I was like, nope, powerlifting's not for me. Strongman's the way forward. But I always watched at Channel 5, Christmas time, more with my dad. And it was something that I think he would have loved me doing. So when my dad passed, I did taekwondo with him as a kid, and I couldn't face doing that anymore.
I get it.
There was a big mental block for me with walking into the same club I trained in all my life. And I almost needed something, I just needed something new. I needed something new to channel my energy into. So I was glad I found this because it works around my life rather than the other way around. And it is something that I've found like great joy in. So, a bit of that.
I think, like you say, it's fun as well. Like, most days I get into it, like, there's a lot of people out there that watch it religiously every year when it comes on the telly. Don't really probably follow Scotland's very much, but they watch the telly and they always think it looks good. I think it takes a special head to go, I want to try it. And then when you try it, you seem to just fall in love with it. Like, it's it's like an adult's playground, some of the stuff you get to fire about. So, that's fair. When it's getting tough, training-wise, especially, like, let's say winter stuff, and it's coming in here and it's cold, and what gets you through it? What keeps you going?
Stubbornness, I suppose. Wanting to be better.
Right.
I think most people, they find it quite easy to find an excuse not to train. I'm never going to fall into that trap. I've always been like that. And through doing sport when I was younger, again, related back to the taekwondo, like, I would be there hours before my classes doing extra training to get ahead of everyone else. Do you know what I mean? If there was extra training on, I'd be there. Any opportunity that I had to better myself, I would be there. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same with this. It's always been, it doesn't matter, like, unless I am feeling like death's door, like, I'm coming in to train. If I've got an injury, I'm working around it. I'm not going to not do nothing. And whatever's going on externally, like, if there's stuff going on that comes up, like, I'll make the training session happen at some point that day or the day after. It's just I think it's the need to want to constantly be better and progress. And there's that, you can give yourself a pat on the back at the end of the week if you're, you know what I mean? If that 1%,
consistent and stuck it out.
That 1% better thing, I love it. See, like, everything in life, I think you can learn a lot about, like, the way to go by, like, in other stuff in life, by the way you kind of train and kind of treat that. 1% better daily, man. Eh?
Good, I like that. Do you think strongman's changed you outside of the gym?
100%. I would say that there's probably actually been more sacrifice. Although it's flexible and I can train around my kind of lifestyle and stuff, there's definitely a higher level of requirement for time commitment to training, nutrition, the time. Like, I must spend about 3 hours a day eating. So I think, like, just giving up a lot of, like, social stuff, going out and having a drink and things like that. I don't really drink anymore, and it's not because I don't really enjoy it. It's just because I'm like, this will have far too much of an impact on the stuff I'm trying to accomplish. So I'm just not doing it. But I would say that I was going to say healthier, but it's not really healthier when I put on as much weight as what I put on trying to chase the open scene. But I would say that I probably do a bit less socially out with the gym.
Aye.
But lucky in the sense, strongman's such a social thing, so I kind of get it back on
You
that
get
anyway.
the social aspect of everybody else.
Yeah.
Do you think people that don't really get involved, do you think they understand how brutal the sport is?
No.
No.
Nah, I don't think so.
What's your level of brutality with the sport? How would you deem it?
I think most sports are high, like especially like contact sports are high risk and stuff. Like you're probably more likely to hurt yourself playing football than you are doing strongman. I think if you're sensible with it, but quite a lot of the time when these injuries occur in strongman, they're normally pretty severe.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So it's your knee's completely blown out. You've got a proper disc bulge. You've trashed your shoulder, and you've took your bicep off. I think like it's pretty rough in terms of like there's some major injuries like Achilles tears is another one. I think you get a bit battered, a bit bruised. We can all deal with that element of it. Most of us can, but I think when there's a serious injury, it's normally it's a proper injury, and it can have you out for 6 months, a year. It's not just a wee thing. It's normally quite severe.
Best moment you've had in the sport so far? And you've had a few good ones, so what's your best one?
It's harder to answer now. It's really hard because obviously it would have definitely been Scotland's Ultimates third place, and that kind of just shocking everybody with it. I was there just to make up numbers really, and obviously pulled that out of the bag and got to UK's. I think possibly loading the last stone at that comp. That was because I knew what had kind of happened. Like I'd kind of like absolutely I'd proved everybody wrong. Do you know what I mean? And I'd been like, yeah, I deserve to be here. And I had a wee moment, obviously, that we spoke about it briefly earlier on, but the whole comp, it was all about channeling a lot of anger that I had about the loss of my dad, right? And that whole competition, that whole day was spent using that as a mental weapon on every single event to make sure that I went 110 and nothing less. And it worked. It worked beautifully. I couldn't have done another deadlift. The bag run was like way ahead of everyone else.
That was unreal.
So I pretty much had a PB on every event that day. Every single event was a PB, apart from stones, although we'll argue with those stones being so big that it was a PB.
They're different, you're right.
But yeah, loading that last stone and having a wee moment and a wee, like looking over and seeing like everybody at the gym, everybody from the gym there, and my wee girl, my wife and that's probably still my highlight. Yeah.
I would agree, that's probably one of the better highlights of What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten before training? The laugh tells me there's one at least.
No, just I know that Beef's answer was a bit quite disturbing. Do you know what? It was actually tuna,
right?
And it was like a tuna salad wrap thing many moons ago. I don't really like fish anyway, but I had like nothing there, and I ate it like literally 2 minutes before I went up to the gym in the place I used to work. And all I did was I had a pre-workout, but all I was doing was burping like tuna.
No. So it was the comeback of it as well, made it worse.
Yeah, like I don't like fish anyway, but it was like the only thing I had there, and I was like, right, I have to eat something. And I just remember the entire session just like burping tuna. I was like, it was vile. But I've not anything nothing too weird.
Not quite like his beef wild.
Nah.
Biggest gym fail you ever had?
Gym fail?
Doesn't need to be strongman, just.
Well, this is something that folks should actually be aware of. So, many moons ago, I was track pressing 50 kilo dumbbells on a small incline. When I was like, I think I was about 86 kilos soaking wet, and I was big noodle limbs. So I was pressing it, and someone came up to spot me, but they spotted me at the elbows, and they basically, because they slowed down just a smidge, they started pushing, and as they started pushing, they pushed my arms in, so the dumbbell landed in my cheek, and smashed my cheek to bits.
God.
I was lucky probably not to smash my face like properly and break something, but yeah, I had a big black eye and a big swell on my face from it. So don't spot people don't run up and spot people that you don't know.
Aye.
But I would also suggest not spotting them at the elbows and probably spotting them at the wrists if you don't know as well. That was really bad.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, it was.
Sounds also like it could be a gym red flag.
Yeah. Don't spot people unless you know them and you know, because it's super dangerous.
Aye.
It's super
Especially if you
dangerous.
get that outcome.
Yeah.
Most humbling moment in strongman?
Humbling. Can't even think of anything, honestly. Probably just generally being humbled when I was training with like Lewis and Beef for UKs behind the neck press.
Right.
And honestly, like those guys were coming in and like hadn't touched it and they were hitting like 150, 160. And like reps, and I was doing like 80, 90 kilos, and I was like, you know, that way I was like, how am I going to compete with these guys? I was like, I hit it. I got the 150 on the day.
You did.
But that was I can keep up with a lot of the guys on like deadlifts and moving events, obviously bags and things like that, stones, but pressing is getting there. But I remember that day, like I think it was the first time I got the blocks made for in here, and they all came in to train, and I had like 80, 90 kilo on my program and I was like, right, okay, try to send it. And they came in and they were doing like 150, 160 on the first session. And I was just like, how am I going to compete with these guys?
That's that
was humbling. That was humbling.
Obviously paid off, but like you said, you managed to hit it on the day as well, so it paid off those moments.
Train with guys that are stronger than you and it tends to bring you on, or find a way. And that's what I did. I found a way because there was no way I was push pressing that weight with the time I had. So I learned to split jerk in 4 weeks. It wasn't pretty, but it went. And I think that's something that, like again, like good athletes will do. They'll find a way to make it happen.
Adapt it.
Like there's quite a few athletes kind of like that are quite smart. And I would class myself as one of them. I'm not maybe the strongest guy, but I'll normally find a way to make it happen if I can. So, but yeah, that was those boys are just big mutants. So,
scariest game face you ever came across in this sport?
Game face.
I mean,
mine.
I would put you in that category. I'm not going to lie, but if you were to say somebody else's in instead of just standing still in the mirror at yourself.
Who's been really intense? Do you know what? I'm trying to think of like a lot of the opens level guys, right? And you want to know what? Most of them are pretty like they're not mental. Like I'm trying to think of one of the Scottish guys that's like, don't get me wrong, they're focused. Like Beef wiles yourself up a wee bit before, but none of them I look at and I'm like, whoa. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to say one of my clients actually, Hayley Black.
Right. Okay.
Genuinely, she's feral. She's just feral. She's very like me in the sense of she needs to go a bit mental. I always remember she was my first 200 kilo deadlifter from a client, female client, and I always remember the video coming through to me. She was doing the records day at Burns Gym. And it's just like Izzy Tate and Kerry, if you're hearing that, just beating the living daylights out of her before she goes up to lift because she's wanting them to batter her. Punching herself in the face, just screaming. Wow. She's nuts. She's great to watch though. Like, see if you watch her before she's mental when she goes up, but see if you watch her pre-lift, it's phenomenal.
I'm going to have to look into this now because I don't think I've seen it. And if she does end up watching this, I hope she sends it over to the page so we can get it on because I need to see this now. What's the one event in strongman you think deserves the most respect from you? Like, so you say it could be your training, comp, whatever. What's the one thing you've came across you thought I need to give that a bit more respect than anything else, or maybe zoning a bit harder to make sure I get it?
I think there's some events where there's a big risk element that I think you need to put up maybe a wee bit more like thought into and maybe respect a wee bit more. So I would say like squat. Right. I think squat's quite a high risk event in terms of if you don't bail it properly, you're in trouble. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a deadlift where you can drop the bar or a lot of the overhead as well. Like you can kind of ditch it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like a squat, I think it's very easy to get pinned. Also, Fingal's finger.
I'm back on you.
Oh yeah, like I did Fingal's finger at Natty Worlds under 105s, and the prep and training for it, I was fine doing it, but when I was watching my clients doing it, I had the fear the whole time. It's just you miscue that once, that thing's going like that. So I would say things that are like that kill you.
Aye.
Like, I don't think, like, I know that sounds extreme, but that could literally kill you.
Could, you're right.
And so finger's finger, and see, like, even like, see, like squat machines and stuff like that can come down
on you.
Probably they need about the most respect. The ones that can really kind of hurt you if you're not aware of what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? And you need to be aware.
What kind of competitor are you?
Kind of competitor.
Yeah. What kind of competitor are you?
Focused.
Yeah.
Stubborn. Determined. Yeah, I would say I'm quite intense. I can be quite intense, like on a competition day, but I'm there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think maybe earlier on when I was doing it, it was definitely a little bit more, and a wee bit messing about and stuff like that. Whereas now I think like my head's like fully focused on what I'm doing and the tasks at hand. So I'm probably a little bit intense in comp days.
I think now that you've been up at the top level and kind of making podiums and stuff, your mindset will have changed, and that's why you've changed that thought process of how you compete in it.
Yeah, I'm still very much like off the me versus me thing. I like the idea of just trying to do the best I possibly can on the day, and where it lands, try and hit some personal bests. I'm not, as much as I'm intense and want to do well and stuff, I always revert it back to if I do the best I can on the day and I'm last, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, definitely it's changed since coming up through and like getting a wee bit of exposure at the top level.
Do you enjoy the pressure of competing?
I don't feel it anymore as much. Like, yeah, like I don't know what I used to feel like there was a bit of expectation because obviously I own a gym, I coach a lot of clients, but I don't know, I just over like the last probably year and a half, like I think I don't know, it just doesn't seem as important to me anymore. It sounds really daft, but I think even since I've had the wee one, do you know what I mean? Like life gets put in perspective a little bit when you go through loss and then becoming a father and stuff like that. And I think, I don't know, it's just, I don't feel the same pressure anymore as what I used to. And I think that's maybe as well because I've accomplished a few things now that I'm like, okay, this is way beyond what I ever thought I would manage in the sport when I started. So it's maybe that as well.
What do you think separates the winners from everybody else though?
Some people are just raw, like talent.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like spoke about that genetics, like they're just very, very talented. But like I said, I think it's having everything in check. Yeah, I do. Like we spoke about it, pillars of recovery. Like I think if you can sleep well, eat well, train hard, train consistently, be patient with it as well. Like I think everybody's in a rush to get there. I see a lot of people making mistakes with trying to rush the process of it, trying to get there in a year or two, rather than try to do it over 5 or 6. Strength takes time. So, yeah, I think,
getting everything in order, working hard with that.
Get everything in order, basically, out with just the training. I think that's the kind of key to it.
Probably know your answer, but what's harder, the training or the competing? I enjoy competing now, probably. Like as much as I want to do it a little bit less because it's I want more time to get better in between. It's tough. It's pretty level actually. It's kind of level for you.
Yeah, I think beforehand, earlier on, like I would have said that like I really liked competing. The competing bit was really fun for me, like early doors. But now I like having the time to develop. So yeah, I probably enjoy the training a wee bit more than the competing. Weirdly. I don't know.
Training's maybe easier for you in that way because you enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Fair. Favourite feeling in strongman?
Feeling?
Like, not just obviously hitting the podium and that, I just mean like you've done it for a long time. What's your favourite feeling out of everything you've had? That might be one of the things you know that happens every time you go to compete or train or in groups. What's the one feeling you get for it that you love the most?
I think so. I love the high you get after hitting something that you didn't think you would hit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for example, at the weekend, they're hitting that daddy dumbbell for nearly 3 reps, which was way above my PB for one, hitting it for multiple reps. But just that sense of like overcoming something I didn't think I would overcome, and having that huge high after it, that sense of accomplishment. Happiness, just pure happiness and joy at the end of that.
Yeah, it's almost like hitting an unexpected PB.
Yeah. Like an unexpected, out of the blue, kind of like a shock result almost. Like I love that. I love that feeling of going,
I've just done it.
I didn't think I was capable of that, and it just happened. Like, you get some joy out of that. Like, it's cool.
What keeps you motivated long term in this sport
then? I think that I always want to get better, right? Whatever I'm doing in life, I want it to progress. I don't want to sit still just yet and kind of sit back and just enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? I want to keep pushing. I want to get a bit better. I think sounds like a bit of dick saying this, but being a positive role model for my clients, my gym members, my friends, my family, I think a lot of us don't realize like how our actions and what we do can impact other people. And I think doing what I do, I think it's had a massive positive impact on a lot of people and inspired them to try and push themselves in the sport or try and push themselves just in general training. So I would say probably, like, I suppose it's a little bit of pressure, but also just a little bit of I want to do better, to lead by example and show people that you can accomplish whatever you kind of put your mind to. I was never started this sport. Even the first 2 years in this sport, there was no way that I was going to Scotland finals, never mind hitting a podium. Do you know what I mean? There was no way I was going to be live on Channel 5 doing UKs. Like, it's so yeah, I would definitely say that, continue to be a role model for those people in and around about, and aim high, like aim bloody high. I think a lot of people undershoot where they can kind of get to, and I think it holds them back. I've always set realistic goals, but I've normally smashed past them pretty quickly, just with hard work and being determined. So I think just being a positive influence on as many people as I possibly can to try and help them better their lives. And you can do that through walking the walk yourself. So yeah, probably that.
It's funny, a lot of what you might have just said actually might just tie into my next one for you, which is, how would you want people to remember you as an athlete?
Well, not just the sandbag princess. I'm not just the sandbag guy anymore. So I'd like to think, again, sound like a dick, but inspirational. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to think that showing a lot of the stuff that I do on a daily, on the weekly, and going from here to here, like, I'd hope that I've inspired some people to be like, oh, I can do that too. Do you know what I mean? I can do more than what I'm currently doing. That in itself, that's cool.
That is really cool, man. I really like that one. Where do you want to take it next? What's next, like, for you?
Transparency. I don't know. Like, honestly, like I've got one more comp this year. I'm pretty determined that I'm not going to do anything until the qualifiers next year. I'm pretty determined not to do the 120s next year. I want a bit of time where, again, a bit of off season, can focus on bringing my weaknesses up, so that hopefully next year again I'm better, stronger, and I'm hopefully in a position where I can place a little bit higher again. And that's essentially the goal, just a little bit better every year, and continue to kind of enjoy the process of that for as long as I can. I mean, I'm 36. I started a bit later. I've got a long list of injuries, a very, very long list of stuff, a history of stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. I want to enjoy it while I'm in it. Do you know what I mean? So the answer is, as long as I'm progressing, I'm happy. So just see what happens next year, I suppose, and see what happens at Scotland's in 8, 9, 10 weeks' time. Yeah.
What does success mean to Scott Fraser?
Oh, cheesy as hell, but happiness.
Happiness.
Happiness is the biggest measure of success.
Overall, that's what you. As long as you're happy, you don't really mind.
Yeah. And I think I need to revert back to that myself a bit more often, and kind of take the pressure off it and enjoy the moments more than anything else. Like it's like I was saying earlier on, having a moment where I almost felt close to my dad again at Ultimates, like loading that last stone, and having moments where I was at UK's and family are there and wee nieces in the crowd and my wee girl, and I'm getting to go up and give him a hug and a kiss after it, and like as long as I'm having moments like that, then yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. That's happiness, mate. Happiness, mate. What's the point in doing anything unless you're enjoying it and you're happy doing it?
Definitely.
And I think I've fallen into this trap and been guilty of it at times. Again, I've went through periods of, like strongman where for 5-6 months I've been like, why am I doing this? I'm like, I'm really not enjoying this at the moment. What do I need to do to start enjoying it again?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people need to reflect on that and do that quite often. Like you need to think about why you're doing it, what you're getting out of it, what's making you happy in the process of doing it, and make sure that you're doing stuff that's making you happy and not just doing whatever your coach blindly leading. Do you know what I mean? And I think you need to make sure that you're enjoying what you're doing. So happiness is the biggest measure of success, I think.
That's fair. Before we finish up, Scott, given you're a coach as well and potentially might take on new clients as it goes along, what's the one thing you would tell somebody that wanted to get into strongman or strong women to start off with? What's your one piece of advice for them?
Enjoy the process. I know it sounds really, really simple, but I've had folk doing this that are like in their late 50s that have done it as a bit of fun at a wee beginners comp, and what it's given them in terms of just confidence in their general gym training and general life has been massive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just enjoy it and try and like don't not do something because you feel you can't as well. Like I think like a lot of people are quite scared and intimidated to like do a wee comp or get involved in a wee gym event and things like that. Like just chuck yourself in at the deep end and go for it. Like you'd be shocked at like how supportive the community is. And a lot of people that have done that now that I have coached, like they've came in and they went, I'm just in to get a bit stronger in the gym. And they're now going to Natty Worlds.
That's crazy, isn't it, when you think about that process?
They've been on podiums at national competitions and they just came in because they just want to get a wee bit stronger, just a bit fun. But yeah, you like don't set limits on it as well. Like if you're starting, like just do it. Just do it is the
just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah.
We're not stealing Nike.
Nah.
Right, mate. Thank you very much for your time.
Welcome,
I appreciate it.